Okay. What's the difference between the words quick and quickly? What's the difference between the words quick and quickly? The difference between
The
the
difference
words
between
quick
quick and
and
quick,
quickly
what
i- is that
quick and quickly is that
quick is an adjective,
quick is an
whereas
adjective,
quickly is an
whereas
adverb.
quickly is adverb.
Right, give me an example of the difference. Give me an example of the difference, please. He is a quick writer.
Is he is the quick
He
writer.
writes quickly.
He writes quickly.
Do you speak English quickly? Do you speak English quickly? No, I
No,
don't
I
speak
don't speak
English
English
quickly,
quickly,
but I speak it
but I
quickly enough.
speak quickly enough.
Do people generally walk slowly when the weather is cold? Do people generally walk slowly when the weather is cold? No, people
No,
don't
people
generally
walk,
walk slowly
generally walk
when the
slowly
weather is
when
cold.
the weather is
They walk
cold.
quickly.
They walk quickly.
Can you text as quickly as you can speak? Can you text as quickly as you can speak? No, I can't
No,
text
I
as
can't
quickly
as
as I can
quickly as
speak.
I can
I
speak.
text more slowly
I
than I
speak
speak.
slowly and I speak.
Wait, what's the opposite of deep? What's the opposite of deep? The opposite of deep
The
is
opposite
shallow.
of deep is shallow.
Very good. Is the river Thames deeper than the Mediterranean Sea? Is the river Thames deeper than the Mediterranean Sea? No, the river
No,
Thames
the
isn't deeper
river
than the
deeper than
Mediterranean Sea.
the
It's shallower
it's
than the Mediterranean
the
Sea.
Mediterranean Sea.
Do people study subjects deeply at university? Do people study subjects deeply at university? Yes,
Yes,
people study
people
subjects
study subject
deeply at university.
deeply at university.
Very good. Do you smoke? Do you smoke? No, I don't
No, I
smoke.
don't know.
Which person in your family smokes the most? Which person in your family smoke the most? Nobody.
My father
Is
is
the person in my family. My father
uh
is the person in
my father is the
in
person
my
who
family
in my
who
family
smokes the most.
smokes the most.
How many cigarettes does he smoke a day? How many cigarettes does he smoke a day? He smokes
He smokes 2 cigarettes
a
a
day.
day.
When people smoke, where do they put the ash? When people smoke, where do they put the ash? When people
When
smoke, they
people
put the ash
put,
in an ashtray.
they put the ash in the ashtray.
Very good. If you arrive too early at the station, what must you do? If you arrive too early at the station, what must you do? If I arrive
If I
too early
arrive
at the station,
early at
I
the
must wait
station, I
for the
have to
train.
wait for the train.
Do you like waiting? Do you like waiting? No, I
No,
don't
I
like
don't like
waiting.
waiting.
I dislike waiting.
I don't like waiting.
If you arrive here at the school 10 minutes too early, how long must you wait for the lesson to begin? If you arrive here at the school 10 minutes too early, how long must you wait for the lesson to begin? If I arrive
If I
here
arrive
at the school
here at
10 minutes
school
too early,
10 minutes
I must wait 10
early,
minutes
I must
for
wait
the
10
lesson
minutes
to begin.
for the lesson to begin.
Is it pleasant to wait for somebody in the rain? Is it pleasant to wait for somebody in the rain? No, it
No,
isn't
it
pleasant
isn't
to
pleasant
wait for somebody in the rain.
to wait for
It's
somebody in the lane.
unpleasant.
Unpleasant.
Very good. What's the difference between the words ever and never? What's the difference between the words ever and never? The difference between
The
the
difference
words
between
ever and never
word of ever and ever
is that the word
is
ever
that word
is
is
positive
positive
and
and
generally
never
used
is
in
negative.
questions. Huh? Ever is
Sorry,
positive,
if if
ever is positive,
ever is positive
and is generally
and
used
generally
in
used
questions,
in questions,
whilst the word never is negative.
whilst the word ever is negative.
Where does it ever snow in the south of Italy in summer? Does it ever snow in the south of Italy in summer? No, it
No,
never
it
snows in
never
the south
snows
of
in the
Italy
south of
in
Italy
summer.
in summer.
Do you ever come here on Sunday? Do you ever come here on Sunday? No, I never
No,
come here
I
on
never
Sunday.
come here on Sunday.
Does the sun ever shine during the night? Does the sun ever shine during the night? No, the
No,
sun
the
never
sun
shines
never
during the
shines
night.
during the night.
Is Christmas ever on the 21st of December? Is Christmas ever on the 21st of December? No,
No,
Christmas is never
Christmas is
on the
never on
21st of
the
December.
21st of
It's
December,
always on the 25th
always on
of
the
December.
25th of December.
Very good. Okay, next. What's this? What's this? It's a square.
Square.
What's this? What's this? It's a circle.
It's a round. Oh, it's a circle.
It's a circle. Round is the adjective. Very good. Okay. Is the face of my watch square? Is the face of my watch square? No. The face
No,
of your
the
watch.
face of
Is
your
it
watch
square?
is
It's
square.
round.
It's round.
How many pictures are there round these walls? How many pictures are there round these walls? There are two
There
pictures
are two
round those
pictures
walls.
within those walls.
Does she walk round the classroom during the lesson? Does she walk round the classroom during the lesson? No, she
No, she
doesn't
doesn't
walk
walk
round the
during
classroom during the
the
lesson.
classroom. In the classroom during the
She
lesson,
sits on her chair.
she sits on her chair.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're shaking your pen.
You're shaking your pen.
Do you always shake hands with your friends every time you see them? Do you always shake hands with your friends every time you see them? No, I
No, I
don't
don't shake my
always.
hand.
I don't
I
always
don't
shake
always
my
shake
hands
my
with my friends
with my
every
friends
time I see them.
every time I see them.
Very good. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're nodding your head.
Nothing. Your head.
Do we nod our heads when we say no? Do we nod our heads when we say no? No, we
No,
don't
we
nod
don't nod
our
our head
heads
when
when we
we
say
say
no.
no.
We shake our heads
We shake our
when we
heads
say no.
when we say no.
Very good. Okay, next. What do we call this direct method we are using for learning English? What do we call this direct method we are using for learning English? We call this
We call
direct
the
method
method
direct method
the direct
we
method
are using for learning
we are
English, the
for
Callan method.
learning English is Callan method.
By this method, the students translate before speaking. By this method, do students translate before speaking? No, by this
No,
method,
by this
students
method,
don't translate
don't
before speaking.
translate before
They think and
before
speak
they think and speak
directly in the new language.
directly in new
The, in
language.
the new language.
In the
Very
new
good.
language.
Is it more or less time to go to bed? Is it more or less time to go to bed? No, it
No,
isn't
it
more
isn't
or
more
less
or
time
less
to go
time
to
to
bed.
go to bed.
Are the countries of Europe more or less friends today? Are the countries of Europe more or less friends today? Yes, the
No,
countries
all
of Europe
countries of
are
Europe
more or less friends
are
today.
war
Yeah,
today.
except the two countries. Okay, next. What kind of accent do you speak English with? What kind of accent do you speak English with? I speak English
I
with
speak
a
English
Japanese
with
accent.
a Japanese accent.
Where's the accent in the word excellent? Where's the accent in the word excellent? The accent
The
in the word
the accent
excellent
in the word of
is on the
excellent
first
is
syllable.
the first syllable.
Do children depend on their parents for money? Do children depend on their parents for money? Yes,
Yeah,
children depend on their
and
parents for money.
for money.
Some people eat in expensive restaurants, others eat in cheap restaurants. What does this depend on? Some people eat in expensive
Um,
restaurants, others eat in cheap restaurants. What does this depend on? It depends
it
on how
depends
much
on
money they have.
how much money they have.
Very good. During the day it's light, whilst during the night it's dark. What does this depend on? During the day it's light, whilst during
During
the night it's dark. What does this depend on? It
it
depends on the
depends on
sun
the
and where it is in the sky.
where it is in the sky.
Very good. Are there any clouds in the sky today? Are there any clouds in the sky today? Yes or no?
Yes, there are
There's
some
clouds
clouds
in the
in the
sky
sky
today.
today.
What are clouds made of? What are clouds made of? Clouds are made
The
of
clouds
water.
are made of water.
Very good. Do you always remember everything you learn? Do you always remember everything you learn? No, I don't
No, I
always
don't
remember
always
everything
remember
I learn.
everything I
Some
learn.
things I remember
Something I
and some
remember
things I
and
forget.
something I forget.
Very good. Do you remember when to use capital letters in English? Do you remember when to use capital letters in English? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
remember
when to use
when
capital
to
letters
use
in
capital
English.
letters in English.
Tell me please. We use capital
We
letters
use
at the
capital
beginning of a
letters at the
sentence
beginning of a
for the
sentence
pronoun I
for pronoun
and
I
for the first letter
and for
of
and
people's
first
names,
letter of people's names,
place names, days
place
of the
name,
week,
of
months
the
of the
week,
year,
month of the year,
nationalities, and languages.
nationalities, and languages.
Do you remember the name of this thing? Do you remember the name of this thing? Yes, I
Yes,
remember the name of the thing.
name.
It's a pen.
It's a pen.
Do you ever forget to answer emails? Do you ever forget to answer emails? Yes, I sometimes
Yes,
forget
I
to answer
sometimes forget
emails.
to answer
Do
emails.
you ever forget the names or faces of people you know? Do you ever forget the names or faces of people you know? Yes, I sometimes
Yes,
forget
I
the
sometimes
names
forget
or
the
faces
names
of people
of
I know, or
the
faces
names or faces
of
of
people I
people.
know. Very good. Are we nearly at the end of the lesson? Are we nearly at the end of the lesson? Yes or no?
No, we
We
are
are
not.
nearly at
We
the end
aren't nearly.
at the
We
end
aren't nearly at the
of
end
the
of
lesson.
the lesson.
Are we nearly in autumn? Are we nearly in autumn? Yes or no?
Yes,
We're
we are
nearly
nearly
in autumn.
in the
In
autumn.
autumn. Very good.
In autumn.
Is it nearly time to go to bed? Is it nearly time to go to bed? No, it
No,
isn't
it isn't
nearly
nearly
time to go to bed.
time to go to bed.
Right? Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Yes or no?
No, I'm not the
Nearly.
person to
I'm
get
not
up
nearly
nearly.
always the last person. Homer?
No,
No,
I'm
I'm not
not.
nearly
No, I'm
always
always
the last
the
person
per the
to get up in
last
my
person
family.
to be in my family.
My
My father
is
is the
nearly
last
always
nearly
the
always
last
the last
person to get up
person
in my family.
in my family.
Very good. What's the negative of I was? What's the negative of I was? The negative of I
Ne
was
the
is I
negative
wasn't.
of I was is I wasn't.
What's the negative of you were? What's the negative of you were? The negative
The
of
negative
you
of
were is you weren't.
you aren't.
Was I at this school 50 years ago? Was I at this school 50 years ago? No, you
No,
weren't
you
at this
weren't
school
here.
50 years ago.
Weren't at this school
50 years
50
ago.
years ago.
Were you here 100 years ago? Were you here 100 years ago? No, I wasn't
No,
here 100 years
yes.
ago. Very good. Was she in a different classroom last lesson? Was she in a different classroom last lesson? No, she wasn't.
No, she
In a different
wasn't in a
classroom
different
last lesson.
lesson.
Were we in this world 90 years ago? Were we in this world 90 years ago? No, we
No,
weren't in this
on
world 90
in
years
this
ago.
world 90 years ago.
Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? No, they
No,
weren't
they
outside
weren't
the classroom
outside
during the
of the
last lesson.
during the
They
lesson.
were inside.
They were inside the
Very,
classroom.
very good. Are there any fields near where you live? Are there any fields near where you live? Yes or no?
No, there
There aren't
aren't
any
any fields
fields near where I live.
near where I live.
Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Yes or no?
No, the
The
number
number of
of
people
people
in
in
my town
my
isn't
town
always increasing.
isn't always increasing.
Are there a lot of battles in a war? Are there a lot of battles in a war? Yes, there are
Yes,
a lot of battles
there
in a
are a lot
war.
of battles in the
In a
war.
war, very good. Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Yes, there
Yes,
were a lot
there
of
were
battles in Europe
battles in
during
the
the Second
Europe
World War.
during the Second World War.
Very good. Okay, where's my left hand? Where's my left hand? Your left hand's
Your
over
left
the book.
hand over the book.
Where's my right hand? Where's my right hand? Your right hand's
Your right
over your
hand
pen.
over your pen.
Very good. Where's my right? Where's my left hand now? Where's my left hand now? Your left hand's
Your
on
left
the book
hand
now.
on the book. Now,
Where's my right hand now? Where's my right hand now? Your right hand's
your right
over the
hand
pen now. Very
over
good.
the pen now.
Why do we say my left hand is on the book but my right hand is over the pen? Why do we say my left hand is on the book but my right hand is over the pen? We say your
We
left
say
hand
your
is
right
on the tape
hand
is
is
on the
on
book,
the tape on the book.
but your right hand
Your
is
right
over the
hand
pen
is over the
because your
pen.
left hand
Your
is not
left hand
covering the
is
book
not
completely,
covering the book completely.
whereas your right hand
Where your
is
right hand
covering the pen completely.
covering the pen completely.
Where what's over our heads? What's over our heads? The ceilings
That
over
is
our
over
heads. What's over your building? What's over your building? The skies over
A
my
kite
building.
over
Very good.
our my
Over
building.
my building.
Over my building.
Very good. Where's my right hand? Where's my right hand? Your right
You're
hand's
right.
over the pen. Very good.
You're right over the pen.
Well, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're putting your left
Your
hand
your left hand
over
on your
your
over
left eye.
over your left eye.
Very good. Do you think it's a bad idea to go to England if you want to learn English well? Do you think it's a bad idea to go to England if you want to learn English well? No, I
No, I
don't
don't
think
think
it's
it
a bad
isn't that
idea
idea
to go to England
if you to go to
if I
England
want
if
to
you
learn English
want
well.
to learn
I
English
think it's
well.
a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Very good. Do you think it's a good idea to learn some English before going to England? Do you think it's a good idea to learn some English before going to England? Yes, I think
Yes,
it's a good idea
I think it's a good
to
idea
learn some English
to learn some
before going
English
to England,
before we go
before
before we
going
going before going
to
to England.
England. Very good. Does it often snow in the warm countries of the world? Does it often snow in the warm countries of the world? No, it
No,
doesn't
it
often
doesn't
snow
snow. It doesn't often
in the
snow
warm
in the
countries of the
warm
world.
countries of the
It
world.
rarely snow in the warm
It really
countries of the
the
world.
warm countries of the world.
Okay, is it very often cold in Africa? Is it very often cold in Africa? No, it
No,
isn't
it
very
isn't
often cold
often. It isn't very often
in
cold
Africa.
in
It's
Africa.
very rarely cold
It's
in Africa.
very rarely in the Africa.
Reggie, do you often go to the theater? Do you often go to the theater? Yes or no?
No, I
I don't
don't go.
often
I don't
go
often
to the
go
theater.
to theater.
I rarely go to the theater.
I rarely go to the theater.
Does the sun often shine in the north of Europe in winter? Does the sun often shine in the north of Europe in winter? No, the
No,
sun doesn't often shine in the north of
sun,
Europe.
the sun doesn't often shine
In
in
the
the
north of
north of
Europe
Europe
in winter, it
in
rarely
winter.
shines.
It rarely shines.
Very good. Do you understand two people when they speak very quickly in English? Do you understand two people when they speak very quickly in English? No, I
No,
don't
I don't
understand two
understand
people
when two people
when they
speak
speak very quickly
when they speak they when they speak very quickly
in English.
in English.
Do you understand everything I say during the lesson? Do you understand everything I say during the lesson? Yes or no?
No, I don't understand
Everything
everything during
everything you
the
say during the
everything you
lesson,
say during the
but I
lesson.
understand
But
nearly
I
everything you
understand
say.
everything you say.
Very good. If the first time you don't understand a question the teacher asks you, what must you do? If the first time you don't understand a question the teacher asks you, what must you do? If the first
If
time
I don't, if first
I
time
don't
I
understand
don't
a question
understand
the teacher
what
asks me,
you
I
ask
must
me,
ask him to repeat it.
ask him to repeat it.
What exactly do you say to him? What exactly do you say to him? I say, I'm sorry.
I say to
I
him,
don't understand the question.
sorry, I don't understand the
Will you
question.
repeat it, please?
Will you repeat it, please?
Very good. Do you think it's easy to stop smoking? Do you think it's easy to stop smoking? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I
it's
don't
easy to
think
stop
it's
smoking.
easy to stop smoking.
Very good. What does the verb to talk mean? What does the verb to talk mean? The verb to talk
The verb
means
to
to
talk
speak.
means to speak.
Do you talk to your friends on your mobile every day? Do you talk to your friends on your mobile every day? Yes or no?
No, I
I
don't talk
talk to my friends
to
on
my
my
friends
mobile every
on
day.
my mobile every day.
What does the teacher generally do if you start talking to the student next to you during the lesson? What does the teacher generally do if you start talking to the student next to you during the lesson? If I start
If
talking
I
to the
start
student
talking
next to
to the
me
student
during the
to me
lesson, the
during the
teacher
lesson,
generally
the
asks
teacher
me to stop
generally asks
talking.
me to stop talking.
Very good. Is it right to say I am talking English? Is it right to say I am talking English? No, it isn't
No, it
right to
isn't
say
right
I
to
am
say
talking
I
English.
am talking
It's wrong.
English. It's
What
wrong.
must we say instead? What must we say instead? We must say
We
I'm
must
speaking
say
English
I'm
instead.
I'm speaking English instead.
Can you hear any voices in the next room? Can you hear any voices in the next room? Yes or no?
No, I can't hear
Any
any
voices
voices
in the next room?
in the next room.
Very good. What's the past tense of the verb to do? What's the past tense of the verb to do? The past
The
tense of
past
the verb
tense
to do
of the word to do
is
is
did.
did.
Very good. Okay. How do we form the past tense of regular verbs? How do we form the past tense of regular verbs? We form the
We
past tense
form the
of
past
regular
tense
verbs
or we form the past tense for regular verb
by putting the letters ed at the
by
end.
putting letters ed at the end.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. For example, walk,
For
walk.
example, walk,
I
walked.
generally walk to school.
I generally walk to
I
school.
walked to school yesterday.
I walked to school yesterday.
Did you watch television last week? Did you watch television last week? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I watched
watched
the television
last
last
week.
week.
Did you walk to school yesterday? Did you walk to school yesterday? Yes or no?
No, I
I didn't
didn't
walk
walk
to
to
school
school yet.
yesterday. What did you use to answer the last question? What did you use to answer the last question? I used my
I
voice
used
to answer the last question.
my voice to answer the
The
last
last
question.
question. Very good. When did last season end? When did last season end? Last season
The last
ended on the
season
month
ended
of
on the month of July.
July. Did you work last month? Did you work last month? Yes, I worked
Yes,
last
I
month.
worked last month.
How long did last season last? How long did last season last? Last season lasted
Last season
about three
lasted
months.
about 3 months.
Did you live at home with your parents when you were a small child? Did you live at home with your parents when you were a small child? Yes, I
Yes,
lived at
I
home
lived
with my
at home
parents
with my
when I was a
parents when
small
I was
child.
a small child.
Did you move any parts of your body during the last lesson? Did you move any parts of your body during the last lesson? Yes, I
Yes,
moved
I
some
moved
parts of my
some
body
parts of my
during the
body
last lesson.
during the last lesson.
How do we make a negative sentence in the past tense? How do we make a negative sentence in the past tense? We make a negative
We make
sentence
a
in the
negative
past tense
sentence in the
by
past
using the
tense
word
by
did
using the
and
word
the
of did
infinitive
and the infinitive
without to.
without to.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I didn't work last
I
Saturday.
didn't work last Saturday.
How do we make a question in the past tense? How do we make a question in the past tense? We make a question
We
in
make
the
a
past
question
tense
in the
by
past
using
tense
the word did
by using the words
and
did
the infinitive
and
without
the
to.
infinitive without to.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Did you work last
Did
Saturday?
you work last Saturday?
Did I ask you 1,000 questions last lesson? Did I ask you 1,000 questions last lesson? No, you
No,
didn't
they
ask me a
asked
thousand
me
questions
a
last
thousand
lesson.
questions last lesson.
Did last lesson end at 11 p.m.? Did last lesson end at 11 p.m.? No,
No,
last lesson
last
didn't end
lesson
at
didn't
11
end
p.m.
at 11
It
p.m.
ended at
Ended at
8, let's say 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Did you talk to anybody in your family last week? Did you talk to anybody in your family last week? Yes or no?
Yes,
I talked to
yes, I
somebody
talked
in
to
my
somebody
family last week.
last week.
Very good. Did you call anybody in your mobile phone yesterday? Okay, but we stopped there for today. But
Okay.
very good practice for today. Thank you very much.